Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to restore the crown of a felt hat at home. This is something that if you take a hat into a hat maker, they can certainly do better than you can do at home. They'll stick a wood block in here, and they'll re-iron the crown and do all of that. You would do this if you're either not satisfied with the crown shape that came with your hat, or you're wanting to take it back out, or you maybe had it crushed by something. So this would be something you would do, not a lot, not all the time, but something to fix this hat. So this hat right here has a crown in it. We're going to heat it, and we're actually going to use something that hopefully most people have, a balloon at home, to make it right. So I usually blow up 2 balloons when I do this. One will be big enough that when I stick it in there, it still has enough balloon sticking out that when I go to do this, I have back pressure, okay? Now, I'll also blow another balloon smaller than that, so when I stick it in there, it doesn't stick out below. I don't know if you can see that. It sticks out a little bit, but if there's a minute spot in this hat that I really need to push up in there, I can do that, okay? So I'm just going to show you that. So as you can see, this hat's already had the crown ironed out, and now we're going to start, or excuse me, the brim ironed out. Now we're going to start on the crown. So for this, you're going to want a good bit of heat. So I just move the hat a lot, but make sure it's getting heat directly on the crown. If you have a cattleman in your hat or something maybe a little bit more aggressive, it's not necessarily a bad idea just to try to punch as much of it out with your hands before you ever go to a balloon, okay? So I'm going to make sure it's pretty warm to the touch, almost hot. So obviously having a good kettle is a good idea. So I'm going to start with the small balloon, just to show you what I would do with that. So you can certainly, with your hand, just push these out. Okay, so I push with just my fingers, and then I'm going to put the palm of my hand where I'm pushing. Okay, you can do that. Or you can put this small balloon in there. So I'll stick it in there, and I'll push instead of with my hands with that, and I can push out parts of this hat, so like the very top. And if you're not getting a lot of movement, that means you need more heat. So this is one of those times that's kind of an exception to the rule that you need quite a bit of heat to do this, okay? So I'm going to put as much as I can on there without getting it too warm. You can certainly burn a hat like this, so just be careful, okay? So I'll punch this out with my hand just to get it started, and you can see the difference there already. So when you do this, you're going to basically have the ghost of the old crown still trying to poke through. So these ridges, these side dents and vents, this balloon's going to help me uniformly punch this crown back out. As a disclaimer, you're not going to be able to 100% make this hat new unless you get a block and you iron the opposite side. So you can't take everything out, but this can certainly get it pretty uniform so that you can put a new crown in there and not have too many, old lines from the old one. So I'll set it on there, and I'm just going to push it straight down and just work my hands in a nice half circle on each side to get it down. Okay, so I'll keep going until it starts to feel cool. If I still have stuff I want to do, so you can see these just kind of dimples everywhere. This is what I do over and over and over and over. So we'll do it one more time, and then I'll show you kind of what you would do with your hands after the balloon has done its job. So if you have a cattleman in here or something with really, big side vents, and I'll show you that here in a second, what I mean by side vents, you're not going to get all of it out. So you just got to know that. The only way to do that is obviously to take it in and have it re-blocked, and even then, especially if the quality of the hat isn't high, you're going to have some struggles, okay? So push down and continue to work that out. If you had something kick it, and punch it in like that, this would be a good way to get that out. You can also use your fingers and try to get some of that stuff out. So I know it's kind of time to quit when everything that I'm doing isn't changing much of it. I let that cool. You can let it cool just like that. But I'll pull that guy out of there. And you can see, it's not 100% back to the way it would be if it was an open crown. But what I'll do now is try to get as much as I can done with my hands. And I'll just show you kind of the limitations of that, and then we'll be done. So if this hat did come with a cattleman crown, so this side vent comes clear out here to this edge, it's going to be really hard to ever make that spot of that hat new again. But the best thing that I know how to do is to put the palm of my hand in that spot and then push with my hand on the inside. Okay, so I'll just sit there. So the balloon does a really good job, but believe it or not, just your hand and using the palm of your hand as back pressure works really well. So if you look at this side and this side, hopefully this top corner is a little bit better. So you can just work that hat all over using that same philosophy. If this interior section doesn't look good, you can use the palm of your hand on the outside and use your pointer finger, or just your fingers, and just push on that. So the balloon gets you close. Your hands will basically finish this process, but once you get it blown out to the size that you want, then you can start new and put a new crown in there. Like I said, you're not going to get everything out, but this is the best way I know at home to get a good product. So that's how I blow out a crown using a balloon. So if you like this video and want to see more videos just like this, please like and subscribe to the Startup Cowboy channel.